Crafternoon, everyone. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and I'd like to welcome everyone coming in from all around the world today. So today we're going to do something that I couldn't believe that I've never done before. We're going to make an eclipse card, and there's a couple different ways to actually create the eclipse component of the card. I'm going to add two of those ways on my card, and then I'll talk you through the third way, but it is a really interesting optical illusion type of card. And I was like looking on my channel, and I realized that that is just one of those cards that I love making, but I just never made a YouTube video on it. So I thought we could do that together today. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Happy Crafternoon.
How are you doing?
I am better than horrible. Hey,
yeah.
I love the thumbnail.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And I'm loving the eclipse stars planetary theme.
Yes. Well, you know, I mean, I feel like 2026 is my year to be extra silly.
Ah,
you know?
Extra silly and extra colorful.
And extra colorful. Extra colorful and quite a bit silly. We need silly. We need some fun things in our lives, right? So
Eclipse gazing. Yes, that's a great thumbnail.
well, thank you so much. All right. So have you seen an eclipse card before, Tom?
I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't think I've never made one. I mean, I've made them, but I've never made one on YouTube before. So this is going to be fun today.
All right.
All right. Well,
I'm here if you need my help.
Okay.
If you need some assistance getting through this difficult process.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right. Well, let's talk about what an eclipse card actually is. So an eclipse card is a card where you have components of the card that are either raised or recessed, but there's no definitive outline of those areas. So from the front, it almost looks like there's nothing but the pattern going on. But when you turn it a little bit sideways, you can then see the greeting, you can see frames, you can see images, whatever you want to either lift off the card or recess into the card. So I am going to be using a couple of my favorite die sets for eclipse cards. Now I wanted to show these to you. These are our caps series. So we've got love, you, friend, and hello. So depending on the size of the card, if you were going to do a 5x7, you could do love you, friend. You could do hello, friend. You could just do love you. So there's ways to mix and match these that are really cool. So what I thought I would do is I would make the card first, and then we could decide, because I'm thinking about doing it the size of a Master Layouts 2. So I want to pull these dies off of here. I actually have these already, but my set is at home. So we could definitely fit love on here. And we can definitely fit you on here. So maybe I'll just make this a love you card. Yeah, that's going to be great. Now the hello friend, these would be better to use on a horizontal card if you're doing A2, because they would fit better in this direction. Hello friend, if you were doing something like that. This would be a little bit too big for this. It wouldn't be terrible, but it just feels a little wide. But again, if you're making a 5x7 card, you can mix and match like love you friend, which would be just great. So these are great dies, and they don't cut a border around the outside of the word. They only cut the letters out. So you can put these anywhere on the card. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to use for my eclipse card today is Master Layouts 18, because what I thought it would be cool to do, most eclipse cards that I see, you'll just see the words done, but these are called caps dies, like capital letters, caps, C-A-P-S. So this is our love caps, you caps, friend caps, and hello caps. Okay. So most of the cards that I see that are Eclipse cards have either the words raised or they have maybe a flower design or something like that raised. But I want to do the inside, but I also would love to do the outside. So I have to make sure that my words will fit, and I don't think that they will. So what I could do is I could do the word hello in the center and then raise the outside. Or I could use the word friend in the center and then raise the outside. So maybe I'll make just a hello card and we'll do it this way because I really want to do both parts of this eclipse for you. All right, so let's start. We're going to start with a bigger sheet of cardstock. It's a quarter sheet, so it's bigger than our master layout size that we're going to use. And I'm going to get my stencil mat. Because for this card, I'm going to do a stenciled design. Now, you can do these with stamps. You can do this with pattern paper. You can do it however you want. But the idea is to fill as much of this paper as you possibly can with the design. All right, we don't want to just have like one little stamped image and then do the eclipse. That's not going to have the same impact as having a background of some sort. So I thought I would use a big stencil here. This is our Dazzling Dahlia stencil. I love this one. It's got this big dahlia flower, and it is a 4-piece stencil. It's beautiful, and I thought we could do it in shades of pink and spruce. So I have our, I don't know why I have light orchid here. Let me see if I can find my, I want to find my carnation. Maybe I put it somewhere else. Let's see, here's orchid. Give me a sec. All right, my purples. Well, we'll use light and medium. That'll be fine. So we're going to use light and medium carnation. And I don't know where my, you know what I could use? I could even use a little dusty rose in here, possibly. We'll see. But I'll just get those out and maybe we'll find it in a little bit. All right, so this is a 4-piece layering stencil, and what I want to do is I want to create several flowers on here. I'm going to make one big one, and then I'm going to kind of bring parts of it in around the perimeter because I want to fill up as much of this as I can. So I'm going to start with layer 1, and for my first layer, I'm going to face all of these in the same direction here. So let's see. Now, most of our stencils, all of our stencils really have the name put on them at the bottom. So here you can see, let's see if I can get it into the light. See that Dazzling Dahlia 1, 2, and then we'll find it. Here it is, 3, and 4. So they're in the right order right now. If I shine them up to the light, I can see that everything lines up. So I'm going to start with layer 1, and I'm going to make this the biggest part of the flower. So I'm going to put this right here, like this. And these are pretty easy to line up, even if you don't have them in a right angle somewhere. You'll be able to see it pretty well. So I'm going to start with light carnation. And I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending here. Okay. So I'm starting right in the center of this flower, and I'm just going to work my way out to the edge. And how's everybody doing? Welcome, everybody. It is a cold Thursday here in Wisconsin. I hope you guys are warmer where you are today. I don't know, though. It's been pretty chilly up here in the Midwest, that's for sure. Very cold. We had one warm day, though. It felt like spring, and it's so funny how you have like a 45-degree day here in Wisconsin in the middle of January, and it's like, wow, it's warm out. It feels beautiful out. But you have a 45-degree day in the fall in Wisconsin, and you're just freezing to death. 45 degrees is not the same in the winter as it is in the spring or in the summer going into fall. Isn't that crazy how that works?
And that same number in Florida is horrific.
Oh, I know, right? I saw a report that Florida was going to get a cold snap and that iguanas were going to be falling out of the trees. That's crazy. Crazy talk. All right, so I have my first layer here, and I'm going to do each complete flower before I move on to the next. And the reason is because I want to make sure that all the leaves can be placed around these flowers, and that's going to help me gauge where to put my next flower. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put layer 2 on. Let's see where that goes. It should be pretty easy to line up. It looks pretty good. Okay, now for this one I'm going to use medium carnation, and I have a smaller blending brush here. This is our small blending brush. Let's see how this looks. I think I am going to have to get myself some of my reinkers out and start reinking these ink pads. I've done so much ink blending over the years where I have not really reinked, and it's starting to become apparent that it's time to reink. This one feels a little dried out. I might pick a different color to add in here. We'll see. I'm getting good color though. Hello everyone. Are we going to get in more mini black pearls? Yes, we will. A lot of our embellishments, well, all embellishments really, it doesn't matter where you buy them from, they are made in China. And so China is going into Chinese New Year right now. So a lot of the things that get imported into our country are just held up a little bit right now. All right, so that is my medium carnation. Now I'm going to add another color, but I think what I'm going to add is, let's see, I want to see if I have some Red Hot over here. I'm going to do just a little bit of Red Hot with a blending brush. And I want to say hello to Brianne Loveland. Hello, Brianne. Brianne and I were laughing about my my thumbnail for this video today. I told Brianne, I'm sure that there are some people that are sharing screenshots today. Actually, I know there are. Poking fun at me. But you know,
We don't have too many photographs of Gina K just looking at the sky.
no. I just thought it was fun.
Hey, question from Shannon. Is it necessary to have different size blending brushes, or can we get by with one size?
Well, you can get by with one size. The reason I have different sizes here is because when I do this detail work, it does make it easier to have smaller detail brushes like this. However, before we ever came out with our detail brushes and our small brushes, I did all my detail work with the big ones. So you definitely can do it. It's just these kinds of brushes just make it a little bit easier. But you can still certainly participate with just what you have.
And
Okay.
we don't... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, all right, so I have my second layer on there. You can see by blending some of that Red Hot into that medium carnation, it just gives more shading in there. Go ahead, Tom, I'm sorry.
And we don't have an ETA on the cranberry cardstock coming back in.
No, we don't.
Sorry.
All right, so now we're going to move to the light spruce. Hopefully soon. Okay, so I'm going to position this. And again, it's really easy to see where to line these up. That's what I love about these big jumbo stencils like this. The sneak peeks for the new release will start this weekend, so make sure you stay tuned to our Facebook group because that's where we do all the sneak peeks. It's very fun. It's coming up. So I'm using light spruce here. And, you know, I should be a little careful here. This is getting very close to the edge. So hopefully I didn't go over the edge. I don't think I did, But it's amazing. You can look at it and go, no, it looks fine. And then you pull the stencil off and you've got just a little dusting and you can see it. So, all right. So there's our light spruce. Now I'm going to go in with some medium spruce and I'm going to darken up a little bit of that. And then I'm going to come in with, no, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it on the next layer. All right. Isn't that beautiful? That is such a pretty stencil. Whew. This is my daughter Alicia's work. And I get to see Alicia tomorrow. I'm excited about that. She and I are scheming for some new designs. All right, so now I'm going to use this detail brush, and I'm going to get in here with this medium color. But I am, instead of just filling in the whole area, I'm starting down close to the petal, and I'm just getting a little bit lighter as I get toward the edge. Just to build in a little more shading in there. But this is why I like to do the green first, the leaves, before I get to the next flower, because it would be really difficult to know exactly where to put that next pink flower unless you know where these leaves are.
And just a quick reminder, a few of you are asking about things that being in stock and when they'll be in. It's tough on lives to know that information, so we don't have any in-stock, generally in-stock information for you on products during the live.
Yeah. Yeah, and most of the time, even our customer service doesn't know, because until we get a shipping notice, and even then, things can get held up. Things can, if it's dyes, it can get held up at the port with tariffs. And so they just don't have that information. But the best way to not miss out on something that you want is to make sure that you are on the Notify Me list on our website. That is a great way, because what happens is when our new when our products go into stock, restocks, we don't make an announcement. We don't say, hey, guess what's back in stock? Sometimes we will, like with certain things like the cardstock, like the cranberry that everybody's waiting for, but we're not going to do that until everybody who's on the Notify Me list gets their email. This way, all the people that went on the Notify Me list get the first opportunity. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flip this stencil over so I can see the words on the bottom here. I'm going to flip it over because now I want my flower to come in from the other side. And to determine where to place this, if I want to have some greenery, I want to see where the greenery is going to go. So if this is where my greenery is going to go without overlapping, now I can position my flower to come in right about here. So I can kind of see where that is. So I'm going to put my flower right about here. And I can check it again to make sure that my greenery isn't going to overlap anywhere. And I think that will look pretty good. Actually, what I think I'll do is I'll put that in there a little tighter like that. Can you guys see that? Like where the leaves are? They can see that, right, Tom? They can see the leaves here?
Yes.
Okay, so I know that the leaves aren't going to overlap, and now I'll press that flower down, and I have the flower underneath. So that's a good way to make sure that you're not overlapping. So I'll get that light carnation again. And remember, I'm going in the opposite direction this time. You don't have to, but it does make it a little bit more interesting when the flowers are facing in different directions. Okay. You can do this with any layered stencil that you have, as long as it's a busy stencil, takes up a decent amount of the cardstock. You can also do this, like I said, with pattern paper. You can stamp your own background paper. Remember some of those videos that we did where we made our own pattern paper? You can do the same kind of thing with this. Okay, so now we've got that on there. Now, what I want to do is, just so I know how to position it here, I'm going to lay it, just hold it like this in my hand so that the stencil's in the same orientation, and that'll make it easy for me to line it up. Okay, got that second layer. Now here we go with our struggle bus, our medium carnation that needs re-inking. Yeah, these are really pretty soft colors. And that's why I thought like friend or hello, just a real simple card. And we could decorate the inside of this card too by using this same flower and just having it lightly coming up from the bottom corner of the inside of the card. So for those of you that missed my video on Tuesday night, make sure you check it out. It was pretty informative. What I did was I took 4 or 5 cards that I had made in the past, and I decorated the inside of those cards to match the outside. And that video gives you a lot of tips and tricks and ideas of how to kind of pull that off and pull it together. Are these new dies or the ones that were included in the set? For instance, the Hello Sunshine Trio. No, these are standalone dies. They were never included in a set. These are just standalones. But you could use that Hello Sunshine Trio to do this. You just wouldn't use the white background. You would just use the standalone words, like the word sunshine and the word hello, not that background piece.
Question for Margaret. What is the mat that your stencil is adhered to?
This is the Gina K Designs Sticky Mat, and it's great for stenciling. It's actually pretty low tack compared to some of the sticky mats that are out there, so it won't tear your paper at all. All right, so now we've got a little bit of the red in there. Now, remember, I'm in this orientation here, so this is going to help me determine where my first green stencil goes. And I'm going to be using the light spruce again. So I got to go with the biggest one. It's going to be right in this direction. So now I can pull that off, and that should make it easier for me to figure out where to put this. There we go.
And how do you clean the sticky mat?
The only thing you should ever use on your sticky mat is water. Don't use any sticky mat cleaner, because I know some companies have those. Our sticky mat, the sticky will come off. You don't want to use, and that doesn't really clean the ink off even when you use something like a sticky mat cleaner. Just use water. It's all that you need. These sticky mats are consumable, so over time you will want to replace it, but they last a very long time, and as long as you wipe it down with water, even though they're stained, the ink won't transfer.
And here's a favorite question. What are the best master layouts to start with?
Oh my goodness, I bet people in the chat would love to answer that question. I say the best way first is to determine what size cards you like to make. If you are a 5x7 card maker and that's you like the bigger cards or A6 cards, then master layouts 8 for 5x7, master layouts 17 for A6 cards. But if you're an A2 card lover, like most of us start with the smaller cards, master layouts 1, 2, 18, any of those would work really well. But I think master layouts 2 is probably the most common first purchase for most people, because it coordinates with several other die sets like Master Layouts 14 and Master Layouts 18. And it gives you a nice border inside of your card. I should have put that other stencil on first, but that's all right. We can darken that up a little bit. Actually looks so pretty just like that. Yeah, so I think that that's probably one of the most popular. This is going to give me the same effect that I just did, but that's all right. We'll just put it on there just to make sure. So I think that would be a really good one if you like A2 cards to start with. Okay, So there, now we've got 2 flowers. Now we're not done with flowers, but we are done with leaves. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same stencil. I'm not even going to bother cleaning it. And I'm just going to pop it into a place where it looks like it fits. Like right, let's see, I'll do it right there. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to get that light carnation again. I'm going to do just the 2 pink layers here. And this is a great way to use some of these bigger flowers as background paper. So that's just a little bonus when you're making something like this. This just shows you how you can kind of manipulate these flowers around to create a background paper. But we want to fill up as much of it as we can. Okay, let me find this other stencil. I think this is the position right here. There we go. Now we're going to do the medium and the red. So medium carnation. Dark carnation has a different look than red hot, but this is close enough. And make sure that everything is positioned right. Sometimes it's hard to see if it's positioned right if you don't clean the stencil in between. My goal today is to re-ink a bunch of ink pads. I like to re-ink them and let them sit overnight. I feel like it just gives the ink a chance to spread out and get more even. So I generally don't re-ink right before a session. I re-ink more like at the end of a session and then just let it sit overnight and everything just spreads out and gets smooth. And I do have a little video on Facebook. I don't know if Facebook kept it up though. Facebook is giving us fits, guys. That's why we're not on Facebook right now. I don't know, Tom, does it look like people are finding us from Facebook here? I think they are. Yes. But Facebook is giving us fits. It won't let us stream to Facebook right now. I don't know why. And it doesn't hold videos anymore, deletes them after 30 days. I did a little video on Facebook showing how to re-ink your ink pad, but I may have put that on YouTube too. I hope I did. Okay, so there, now we've just got a little pink over here. Now we've got to do the same thing down here. And you can see as these dry, everything dries up and it gets a little bit softer. So again, I'm not going to worry about cleaning this stencil. I'm just going to find a spot where this will work. I think this right here will be perfect.
Question from Marge. Why do you start with a bigger size cardstock other than the size you end up with?
Because I want to cut this down with a stitch die, and if I cut it first, everywhere that they're stitching is going to grab the ink, and you're going to really see that. It's not going to look really smooth and really clean. So if I cut this down first, everywhere that those little stitches are, you'd see like bright red and bright green. It wouldn't look crisp. If I do this first, then I can position it exactly where, maybe if there's a little mistake somewhere, I can kind of slide it left or right, and then I can cut it and I get clean, crisp stitch lines that don't have any ink caught in them. It's a great question though. All right, so I'm doing my final one here with the light carnation. And now, what position is that in? It's like, okay. And it goes there. You can kind of see it like, it's like a puzzle. You know, you could kind of see the white there, and then once you get it in the right position, the white just disappears. Okay. And I definitely, in this case, want my my pattern to go all the way to the edge. I may still use the black panel because, you know me, but I also could not use the black panel. And I want that artwork to go all the way to the edge. So if I wanted to make this a full card front, then by doing this, I could trim it just a little bit if I wanted to. I would probably even go bigger than this if I wanted to make it a full card front. I'd go a little bigger than a quarter sheet because sometimes around the edges the ink catches weird. And just trimming it down afterwards changes the whole thing. It just makes it crisp around the edge. All right, my last little bit of red hot here. And you can see this is subtle, but I do think it makes a difference having this third color in there. Just makes the edges glow a little bit. Okay, so there we go. There's my card, my panel. All right, now that's covering up most of the card, right? Got a little bit of white space in there, but that's okay. We need to have some breathing. But for the most part, it is a full panel, and it's such a pretty design. Another good stencil, well, any of our big flower stencils would be great for this, but another really good stencil to use is our flowering vine. This one has like all little flowers on it, so you wouldn't have to do all of that twisting and turning. You could just do this whole thing. It's got the flower layer, it's got a second flower layer, it's got leaves, vines and leaves, so it'll cover a lot of the card too. This stencil may have been in a kit, Jerry, but I don't remember what kit it was in. We've had this stencil for a really long time in our collection. So most of our stencils, our big stencils that are layering ones by Alicia, do start in a kit. So it probably was, but you could look on the website, because I know more recently when Sammy's been updating the website with new products, she'll put originally from XYZ kit, but that process she hasn't started until just maybe the last year or two. So I don't know if it shows that, but somebody might remember. We have a lot of people in our Facebook group, especially Sherry Gilson. Sherry Gilson is an amazing creator, but she also is an amazingly organized person. And people will ask questions like, I have this stencil from 5 years ago. Was this in a kit? And Sherry will just like whip out a picture of the insert of the kit and share it in the group. She's pretty amazing. So if you aren't 100% sure or you need to know that for some reason, go ahead and post that question in the Facebook. I get the feeling Sherry Gilson will come in and answer, because she's just like, man, she just has like a great memory and she's so organized. Yeah, Sherry's cards are fabulous. Okay, so now we've got our panel here. Now, let's see. We're going to cut this out using, boy, do I want to do this? Yes, I want to do Master Layouts 18, because I want to have a frame, and I want to have an inside piece, and then I want to have an outside piece. So I want to have all of these different layers here. So I could cut this anywhere. Maybe I'd want to cut it more up here to get more of this flower, or maybe, I think I'll cut it in the center though, because I think that that's going to give me enough, and I like having a little more of this flower. Did Brienne figured it out? Brienne's another one. Brienne does all the things that she does while cooking dinner and probably holding one of her kids. She's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to get my intercut here, and I'm going to pick a spot to cut this out. Oh, no, she didn't. Okay. All right. So whenever I'm using big dies like this, I do like to turn them a little bit so one corner goes through first. Now, while I'm thinking of it, I might do this in 3 layers. Oh my gosh, I just had an idea. Just a light bulb just went off. Ding! We need a ding sound, Tom. I'm going to perfectly center this on my piece here because I'm actually going to use the frame too. I'm going to use it all because it's so pretty. I hate to waste it. So I want to get this straight. And that looks pretty straight to me. Looks pretty straight on there. It's, you know, it's when it's a busy pattern like this, it's hard to know if it's perfectly centered, but because it's a busy pattern, it's hard to know if it's perfectly centered. So it's not going to look terrible if it's not, because it's hard to know. But I think that looks pretty centered to me. Might have to go this way a little bit. And when you're doing something like this, make sure when you're looking at it, I feel like it would be better if I have this piece straight too. And I might have to just cut it straight. This way I can look at this line and try to make them straight. But if it's better than horrible, we'll just take a picture at an angle. I'll give it to somebody who doesn't see very well. It'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Oh my goodness. I think that looks pretty good though. All right, here we go. It's good enough. I'm not worried. It's good enough. Okay, so now I've got, look, that frame looks great. That's beautiful. T-ruler's got nothing on me. Okay, so this is going to be my outer frame. This that's in here is going to be my inner frame, and then this is going to be my centerpiece, okay? That would be an actual very cool look too. It's kind of fun when you're like in the process and you're laying things out. It gives you ideas for future card ideas, right? Okay, yeah, it looks good. And even just to make frames like this, to just put regular plain focal images in, would be beautiful. All right, so I've got these 2 panels and I've got this panel. I'm going to put these aside. Now I'm going to cut 2 more of these frames because I need to lift these frames. This is part of the Eclipse look. My pleasure. Okay, so we've got one of these. I'll keep this because I can cut more words out of it. And then I've got another frame here. Now the thing about this technique is it is a little bit die cutting intensive if you don't have something like foam to cut out. And I don't use foam, so I just use lots of layers of cardstock. And I don't mind doing that. And you don't have to cut your good cardstock. You could cut packaging from your products that you buy. You could cut old pieces of cardstock where you messed up and you thought you were going to just throw that away, because this is all going to get hidden behind that beautiful frame. So you don't have to use your good stuff. I'm using it just because, you know, I'm making this video and I want it to look clean for you. This frame is from Master Layouts 18.
Okay, here's a tricky one from Paula. I had a small die fall off and went between the rollers on my intercut. I can hear it rattle in there. Is there any way of getting it out, or would it be easier to just get a new die?
I would just turn it upside down and shake it 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 until it falls out. Eventually, it probably will fall out. I've seen people
Put some music on when you do that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would literally just shake it until it comes out.
And
Yeah,
question,
you can do Eclipse cards in black if you want. Sure. Okay, so I just want to see how thick this is. I might do one more layer. This is 4 layers thick. I'm going to do one more layer just to really thicken it up. Wish I had some chipboard or something. I should get myself some fun foam. It's available everywhere. And I could cut some foam, and that would be, some people do that instead of using foam tape. And you could use foam tape also to pop these up, or foam squares, but I just want it to look really crisp. All right. So was there another question, Tom? I'm sorry.
no, you beat me to it.
Oh, I did? What was the question?
About doing Eclipse in black.
Oh yeah, no, you definitely can. You can do the Eclipse in any color you want. It's just the idea of the Eclipse is that it's the same as all the other parts. So if you're making an all black card, like maybe you're doing black with gold, then definitely, your Eclipse would be black. Okay, so now I've got that cut out. Now, here is another part that we want to make sure that we have it positioned right. So let me get this out of the way. All right, so I want to make sure that this panel is positioned properly to go in there and be hidden down in there. And then I'm going to cut my word out of here. So what word did we decide on? I can't remember if I think we decided on hello. We're just going to do a big hello right across the center. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do hello. I don't think hello friend is going to fit on here. No. I mean, no. There's just not enough room there. I might be able to squeeze it in, but if I mess it up and it doesn't fit properly, then we got to start over, and we just can't. We just can't start over. Now, here's something else that you can do. Since we need to cut some of these first, this is the same size as this, right? And if we want to make sure that this is perfectly centered, what we can do is we can cut one first, just to make sure it looks perfectly centered. And we should make sure that, that the L's are right. Because the H is right, the E is right, and the O is right. But if the L is upside down, we have a problem. All right, so I'm going to just tape this down. And I'm going to cut that out. Because we need several of these cut out, too. Yeah, we're at the point of no return, right? Alrighty. Now, if this looks good, and I think it does, that looks pretty centered to me. So we could use that as a guide for this. We could just put them together here. And then we could always just snap the die in place right there. You'll feel it snap into place. So that should be good. I'm not sure that's really good, though. I'm kind of jumping the gun here, rushing through it. No need to rush. All right, so we want to line those up together. And, if you're extra worried, you can always tape them on the side. Put a little bit of tape there. Masking magic is like rules for this. Okay, so we've got that taped in place. Now we're just going to feel this drop in. You can feel it. It'll snap into place. Now we know that it looked centered on the other one, so we can make it centered here. This is also a good way if you want to do the recessed eclipse. I'm going to go back the other way. way too, just to make sure that it cut all the way through, because it did have a little extra dip there that it had to survive. Okay, I'm going to also turn it this way, and I'm going to cut it one more time, just to be 1000% safe. Okay. Now, I need that little piece that just fell off somewhere. I don't know where it went. Let me find it. Did it fall on the floor somewhere? All right, let's see. We'll see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we have to keep these little centers too. But these are all perfect. We've got them there. Okay, remember, don't lose the center, because we can't have any white showing. And we have the center for this one too. Alrighty, now we also need to keep this piece. And this is going to go into...
No, Deborah, no dial on the mini die cutter. The Gina K mini die cutter does not have a dial to adjust.
Correct. All right, so now I've got one hello, two hellos, and I want it to match how many frames I have here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have to cut 3 more hellos. So no problem. I've got white cardstock here. Flip my cutting mat. And I'm just going to cut 3 more real quick. And remember, we don't want to lose the center of that O. Go. And I'm just going to put them in separate piles. So I have 1 hello for each pile. I'm not going to mix all my letters together. That would feel too much like doing a puzzle. Okay. Yes, Tom is killing it with the questions today. That's good. All right. And we've got another one. Right there. Did I have both L's? Where's the other L? Did that stay? Oh, I lost the L from my hell on this one. All right, well, we'll cut one more. It would figure the word hell would give me hell. It's probably on the floor. It's probably attached to me somewhere. Yeah, the thumbnail for this video, I was just having fun today. You know, sometimes you just have to have fun. I'm trying to be more myself because I am truly kind of a silly, crazy person. Here's the other L. There we go. And, you know, I feel like I shouldn't hold back. I should just be who I am. And 2026 is my year for more colorful things, more color, and maybe being more colorful. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of gluing to do here. Let's see. I have my Connect glue. I do. I've got some Connect glue here, and I'm going to get my tweezers in case I need them. All right, let's zoom in just a little bit. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to stack my letters. Okay, so we should be able to do this fairly easily just by putting a few little dots of glue on each letter and then grabbing the same letter, just putting them together and lining them up. I'm going to do all the white ones first, and then I will finish it up with... Okay, so I just found out that the H actually has a direction. So let's make sure it's the right direction. I guess it's a tiny bit shorter at the top than the bottom. Or the bottom than the top. We'll find out. Okay. So we're going to stack each of these letters 5 high. And it should be right. Who designed that H? Me. Just be mad at myself. All right. One more white one. That looks right.
Guess what time it is?
Ooh, yeah, this is the perfect time. Time for the word of the day.
It's time for
Word of the day, oh hey, hooray, let's laugh it up, don't delay. Word of the day, it's here to stay.
All right. So keeping with your theme of eclipse and space and planetary things,
Okay.
what do you get when you're drifting in space on the edge of a black hole and you get sucked into a wormhole and you happen to have a dictionary in your back pocket? What do you get? You, of course, get the perfect idea for a blockbuster movie called Interstellar.
Oh my God.
Interstellar.
Well, I know what that means because I actually saw that movie recently.
Living in the dead space. Back to the dead space.
Boy.
Volume down.
Tom's turning his own microphone off. Oh my gosh. I saw that movie for the first time just a couple of weeks ago, Interstellar. And I feel like that kind of movie, for those of you who have seen it, you might agree with me. I feel like that kind of movie, I have to actually watch like 3 or 4 times to really understand what's going on the whole time and what things mean, and it's kind of heady near the end, and I liked it though. It was a good movie. Good movie. Oh my gosh. Interstellar. Because that's what you would have in your back pocket if you were in space heading toward a black hole. That's very funny.
Well, no, you're going through a wormhole.
A wormhole.
With a dictionary in your back pocket, and there's no way of knowing what's going to happen. So, next, stay tuned.
Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm going to finish cutting out these. Now, another thing, just so that you know, and this is just outside of the whole eclipse idea here, but it's always good to keep this panel, even when you're just putting the words on the front of the card for no reason at all, like without an eclipse idea, because this can be your guide to line up your letters perfectly straight. So always keep that, and then you can throw it away after you're done, unless you're doing an eclipse card. Then you don't want to throw it away. He is creative. I keep telling him he has to get that music YouTube channel up and running. A lot of our friends here definitely miss the music. Okay, so I think that was 4. I feel like it was 3, but I don't see another L. So, oh yeah, I do. All right, here's the last one. This part, I mean, I guess I could have done this ahead of time before I made today's video, but honestly, up until about 5 minutes before I went live, I didn't even know what stencil I was going to use. I was just like rummaging through them while the music was playing.
Question, can this technique be used with open background, die, and stamped image?
An open background, die, and stamp image. I would think so. It's hard for me to picture exactly what you mean, but as long as you have a busy background, you want to have a busy background for this to work. So if you have a busy background and you do your die cutting and then you stack part of it, you stack the dies, it'll look great. But you know, a lot of people say to me, well, can I do this, or can I use this color, or can I try that? And I would say, and I say this a lot, give it a try. It's only paper, you know, see how it looks. And sometimes that's the way new techniques come about. You know, you're thinking, well, let me try it with that and see how that looks. It doesn't necessarily work for the technique you're trying for, but you just invented a new technique. I think pretty much every technique that I've ever come up with was the result of trying to do something different that didn't work out. So, you know, give it a try and see. Try different things that you have in your craft room with it and see how it works. All right, we're almost done here. And then we're going to be able to assemble this Eclipse card. And I'm going to tell you that third way, the way that you would do the recessed one. And I'm going to show you that right now before I finish this L. Okay, so if you wanted to do where this panel was sticking out and the letters themselves were recessed, then what you would do is you would lay this on top, and instead of gluing the letters together like this, you would actually glue them through the hole. So you put glue just on the letter, put it through the hole, and then you would pull this part off, and then all your letters would be left behind. Then you would stack this panel with this same cutout. That's why I said using this technique that we used where, you know, we made sure everything lined up, you could stack 5 of these up and lay it on top, and your letters would be recessed instead of pulled forward. So hopefully that makes sense. I've just got a couple more here to do. I forgot I had to show you that quick before I glued all these together. But these kinds of cards are so interesting, and people look at them and they're like, wait, how did you do that? That's weird. That's interesting. It's different. And it does take a little bit of time, but I think it's beautiful, and it's different. And for a lot of us, card making isn't about making cards fast. It's about trying new things. It's about taking a break from all the crazy that's going on in our world and our mental health, just kind of taking a little break from everything. So I'm going to pop that O center out, but I still need the O center. You know what, though? I'm going to recess this O center. That's what I'm going to do. So you can see what that looks like, so I don't need all these other ones. I think that's going to look better. And you'll get to see me actually do that. Yeah, I try not to rush my card making. It's that time where you can just relax, and you know, you don't have to think. Now I'm going to save one of these O's. I'll save that front one before I put it on, because I want to get the center in there first. So I'll show you how to do that easily. I think it's harder to do once the letters are stacked. So I'm not going to stack the very last one on top yet. Just because if any of them aren't exactly perfectly put together, they're shifted just a little bit, it kind of makes the opening too tight. So if we do this technique to get that inside letter down first, that inside of the O down first, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have these done. Now I'm going to put these aside. I'm going to put those aside because that's all the parts that I need. I need these. I need this. And now I'm going to glue my frames together, but I don't need to use glue for that. I can do it faster with tape because there's a big enough margin around the outside here for me to do that. Alrighty. So we could use glue though. If tape is too, you know, if you're trying to conserve tape, you could certainly glue these frames together. Alrighty. And I feel like an innocent pink card base behind this would be really pretty, but you're not going to see any of the card base showing on the front. So we could just do white to kind of save our colored cardstock. However, do I have that little piece of white to decorate the inside? No, I might have to decorate the inside later. I'll just use my stencil technique, the same one that I did on the sunflower card from Tuesday night, I'll do on the inside of this card. Yeah, it's kind of fun to watch the process sometimes. Okay. I'll do this last one. And I'm going to wait to put the O together and the frame together because I need that to be really flat in order to place the center of my O. So you will see what I mean in just a minute. Okay. Making sure that's nice and tight. Perfect. Okay. There, now we've got 4 frames stacked there. Now, let's cut a card base. I'm gonna use just a piece of white cardstock here for my card base, because again, you're not gonna see the inside, the outside. You're not gonna see the card color from the outside. So I'm just gonna cut a half sheet here. We have to trim it down a little bit because I told you guys I always get all the wonky cardstock, miscuts, things with bent corners. I get all that because I don't want to waste it. All right, so I'm scoring this at 4 1/4 inches because this is going to be a horizontal card. And then this panel is going to go onto the outside of the card. So I can go ahead and put that on now. You see how my cardstock is just a little wonky? So all I'm going to do is just get my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim just a little hair off of the bottom here. I'd rather my frame be just a little bit too big than too small because I don't want to see any white from the front of this card. Now, before you glue this down, you want to make sure that you have everything facing in the same direction so that you know how this is going to get put together. All right, so that completes the flower. See what I mean? So now I know that this is in the right position. I'm going to go ahead and add some tape to it. Some people prefer to use glue for these kinds of parts because the glue is, you know, it's forgiving. You can slide the cardstock around a little bit and get it put in the right position. But I think I'm going to be okay because our tape runner is also very forgiving. You can lift it up if it's not perfect, like it's not. Let's just get this side right, and the rest should be right. Okay, before I put lots of pressure on it, I just want to make sure that this fits in there. Okay, so now I'm just going to place that in there. And I'm going to place this in here. Okay, and now I'm going to place my O in here as well. And that's just lining everything up so that I know where to put the center of the O. So I'm going to hold all of this down in place with just a piece of masking magic, just so that nothing moves, okay? And now I'm going to take this O with a tiny little bit of glue on the back, making sure that's the right position for it. Tiny little glue on the back here. I don't need much. And then I'm going to place that right inside that O. And then I'm going to pull all of this off, including the O. All right, so now I know that that's in the right spot. Does that make sense? Okay, so now I'm going to build this card backwards. No, I'm not. I'm going to build this card the right way. So now the next thing I'm going to do is complete this frame with this piece. And the reason why I didn't do the whole thing is because, like I said, once you start stacking things, if you're a little bit off, things that are supposed to go closest to the card, like this, you're never going to get them pressed down in there, and you're going to start using the picker part of your pick and stick tool and smashing it in there, and it's just not going to look as clean. This is just going to look more clean because you worked from the inside. Okay, and this is the right direction, so I'll go ahead and put this on here. Okay, so now I'm going to put this, probably should have put this down too. See how it's not going in as easily? But we'll get it in place. And then I'm gonna pull this back up. So let's get some tape on the back of this. We're gonna tape this down too. This I should have done with the inside of the O, but it's gonna work. Here's what to do. Here's what to do if you didn't do what I just told you to do. All right, so we're popping that in here, right? And then we're going to pop this in there like that. And then we're going to hold that down and we're going to pull this off and then press that down. Okay. Now here's where we get to stack all of the weird eclipse things that are going to go on top. We want to make sure that's in the right direction. Okay. This is fun. You got to try this. I'm sure you guys have, maybe you have Debbie's new alphabet set. You could do like your granddaughter or your son, like their name or their initials. You could write your own word. Tom, what word would you write? Okay, so now we're going to put this.
Marilyn wants to know why not use foam tape.
Well, you can use foam tape. And I had said that earlier, that you can definitely use foam tape. But the reason I'm not using foam tape is because I do want to mail this card, and I don't want there to be divots and stuff in different spots, especially like on the letters. And I want it to look super clean around the edge. I don't want you to see a gap. I don't want to look at the side of the card and see holes where the foam tape, different parts of the foam tape either meet. I want it to look perfect. So by stacking, it looks perfect, and you don't have to worry about things getting crushed or pressed down or wrinkled. The only other way around that is to use something like foam sheets that you die cut out. You could even stack those. Okay, so I'm going to put this on with tape because it's big enough to do that. But if you don't want to be bothered, you definitely can use the foam. It's just so crisp and clean when you do it this way. So I'm feeling that like snap into place. So already, you see the dimension that you're getting? See how that just jumps out? So different than just having it just flat, but you see it's really crisp along the edge here. You don't see any raised area. You don't see any like holes from foam squares. Okay. And now we're going to put each letter into its hole with a little bit of Connect glue. Oh, it's such a cool look. You just get all those weird shadows. And also, I like to use an acrylic block to hold it down if I don't have enough glue. Sometimes I don't have enough glue. Oh, help, Mindy. I didn't put it on my tweezer first. I saw Mindy Egan in the chat. Okay, and then I'm just putting that down there to kind of put a little pressure on it. So you can do the inside of the card recessed, like these letters, or you can do them protruding like I have them here. Give it a second, hold it down, put that on there. Now this one, I have to make sure that I'm using the one with the green so that it fits in where that leaf is. And this isn't hard to do. It's just a little time consuming, but it's not hard. And they just pop right into those empty spots. What do you think of this, Tom?
It is very interesting.
Right?
Very cool.
Now, I did see one card maker one time edge all of her letters with a little sponge to darken them a little bit so that she could see them better. And that was interesting. But I like the kind of, I don't want to say, it's like serene this way. It's so just soft and delicate. All right, and then we're just going to put that there. Now, once I get the block off of there and I'll hold it up, you'll be able to see everything very clearly. And you'll see the idea of an eclipse card is, you know, it's like two parts that are meshing together and you could just kind of see the outline, but it's just so, it's so graceful. That's kind of the best way that I can describe it. It's just such a graceful look. Isn't that cool? I'll take some good high quality pictures, especially when you catch it on the angle. You could see a little bit of the white edge of the letters, which creates that separation, and then the little bit of the white edge of the frame. Now, if you wanted to, this is another option for those of you that say, oh, I can't see it as well as I would like to see it. You could take a blending brush and you could take a hint of a darker color, or you could make all the parts that are raised in a shade darker so that when you put them all together, you would just have to do 2 panels instead of 1 panel, and you'd have to nail them and make them exactly perfect. But you could do the raised parts in a shade darker, and then you'd be able to read it a lot better. So maybe we'll do that in another video. We'll do an Eclipse card with darker colors. But I think that's so cool. I love that look. Every time I see an Eclipse card, I think, I have to make one. I have to make one like that. That's so cool. That's so fun. Oh, thank you so much, Liz. I appreciate your comment. I'm glad that you're enjoying decorating the insides of your cards. So this one would be pretty easy to decorate, right? I would use a Master Layouts 2 panel. I would put it in there and I would just do 1 flower just coming up a little bit off of the bottom and then put my inside greeting. Now, if you want to, I've done this technique a lot too, where you actually use the black panel to create more separation. And you can do that if you want. You can use black panels, but then it's not an Eclipse card anymore. The idea of the Eclipse card is that everything is like phantom. You can see it all because it's raised. Oh, I just moved my E. I have to, when you do this and you're gluing, give it time to dry completely. Just give it time to dry. But yeah, it's supposed to be more of a phantom look. So I'm gonna just leave this on here while it dries. And then we are gonna give away a gift card. Now, if you're new to Gina K Designs and you're watching here on YouTube for the first time, all you have to do is leave a comment anywhere. It can be an emoji, it could be anything. And Tom is going to randomly pick a winner for a $15 Gina K Designs gift card. You can use it anytime. They never expire. So, but before we pick a winner, if it is your first time watching here on YouTube, I would love it if you would give us a thumbs up on this video. And then if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and then all notifications, because then you'll never miss another video. It'll be real easy for you to find. You'll come on YouTube and it'll pop up right on the For You page because you're a subscriber. It'll say, oh, this live is coming up soon. And then if you're not part of our Facebook group, we would love to have you over there. Come on over and join us. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. It is a fun group. There's 50,000 members and we're all sharing our cards made with Gina K Designs products. So it's a great way to get inspiration for the Gina K stuff that you have in your stash. And then a big shout out again to Brianne Loveland. Brianne, thank you so much for all your help today. But if you missed any of the links that Brianne shared and you're looking for some of these products, you can visit our website at ginakdesigns.com. I will put all of the names of everything that I used in today's card in the description here at YouTube so you'll know what they are and you can search for them over on the website. All right, Tom, come on in. You like this?
Love, love.
All right, so we need to pick a winner.
Okay, let's do a drum roll, please.
Okay.
Here we go. Today's winner is Connie Sam. Connie Sam.
Yay, Connie. Congratulations, Connie. You are our winner. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com. Let them know you won the $15 gift card, and they will get a digital gift card sent right to your inbox. You can use it whenever you want. We do have a new release coming up next Tuesday night, so maybe you want to save it for that. Well, everybody, this was so much fun. Let's take one more look. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here on this card. We'll take one more look at it so you can see it nice and close. There it is. An Eclipse card with 2 eclipsed areas, both the frame and the letters. That was pretty fun. And of course, if you want even more separation, just do a couple more white layers behind those panels, behind that panel and behind those letters, and it'll pop out even more. Well, everybody, this was so much fun. Our sneak peeks for our new release will start in our Facebook group this weekend, so make sure you check those out. Every day we'll pin sneak peeks to the featured tab over in the Facebook group. And then next Tuesday night, we'll be joined by several of our illustrators, and we'll be releasing new stamps, dies, and a brand new mega kit. I can't wait to show it to you. So until then, everybody, stay safe and healthy. Thank you all so much for joining us. And we love you all so very much. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.